Okay, here we go. Just started the recording. I think we can start with the form first. Let's go over the form and see what the player mentioned. And I do believe it was Echo player. Macro Nomad, gotcha. Okay. Actually need to pull the chat to the right a little, so it's gonna be better. Okay. I'm also gonna check if this layout works. Let me see. Yeah, the layout works. The new layout. That's perfect. Just a bit. Well, I cannot do anything to that chat on the right side. It's just been it's been designed. I can redesign later, but there's not much to do about it. Hello, Magic Dust. Hello, how is your day? Yeah, so for anybody, we're just gonna do quick echo coaching, and if you guys got any questions, let me know. Right, let me see here. So I'm gonna start with the form. The player just mentioned that they wanna know what they need to work on and become a better player. I'm gonna maybe pull the form to here. Okay. Let me just do this real quick. Okay. So what made you realize that you need coaching? They want to know where there are things they need to work on, but they're not sure exactly what kind of things. Okay, short-term goals just to become a better player overall, and so this is long term and the short term to start working on being better player too. They think that they need to work on positioning mechanics, using cover better, having better game sense as well. That makes sense. Okay, I think we can probably start with one of those topics, and I'm just gonna use, as usual, my summary, and I'm gonna take notes in there. Okay, so some potential topics: positioning, mechanics, using cover. Yeah, maybe let's start with those three. So there are not too many things. It looks sharp and shiny. Thank you. Does Lucio work with Zako or any flying hero? It can work. It can work if you're looking for a quick dives and closing the gap. I think sure, but it's not gonna work in terms of just your speed boost usage though, because mainly as a Lucio you either close the gap and get a kill on something in my opinion, or you can help your squishes to get in, get out because of your speed boost. You just usually stationary members really. If you got anybody like Reinhardt, May, Reaper as an example, you can always help them to get in and get out quickly because of your speed boost. And yeah, hello everyone. Hello everyone again. For anybody new who joined, I see there are a few people watching. Okay, I'm gonna wait a little just in case for the player. If they're gonna join, that's fine. If they're not, they always get the recording. And you guys feel free to ask any questions. And I'm actually standing up here as well. I got a standing desk, so I just always stand now when I do sessions. At the moment, I almost never sit. Okay, I think we're just gonna start. It seems that I got the right replay, and the player's name is the Reaper. So gonna keep watching this. I'm gonna keep an eye on the right side of the screen a lot, so don't worry. Just because I got all the notes on the right side, I'm not looking straight to the camera. Okay, so we got some pressure going from the main choke, then we closed the gap with the rest of the group here. Well, okay, something to talk about right away, because there's been a death. It's just how we start our engagement. I think we can just start talking about the timing first of all. Yeah, it can be also positioning as well, but I think timing is the most important topic here. Whenever we start the active pressure, whenever you look for the big burst, so it's mainly your bombs, your beam together on the character, you want to make sure that you got some sort of follow-up. Yeah, we want to make sure that we got the rest of our team with us, and as we can see currently, your team, they kind of not ready yet, yeah? I think the biggest indicator, and that is what I tell to most of the players, is just simply watching for anybody who's gonna be distracting these enemies on the map. Usually, it's your tank. In this case, it can be Orisa walking in and just absorbing some initial pressure, and then you can be active with your own damage. Does standing ever get tiring, lol? Well, it does after a certain amount of time. So see here, we're kind of using both of our cooldowns, and then you continue the pressure later, but what if we pressure right in this moment, when your wrist is being active, yeah? So this is the time when you can be more active, okay? So I'm writing down one thing. Timing with tank. Okay? It's just mainly we're gonna be focused on this. Main theme is gonna be map control today. I usually like to start with this with most of my students. Okay. So this one is important. Yeah, timing is important. But what we can do before? Let's watch. Usually, because, well, the request was to also focus on position a little bit more, you want to look for better setup. You usually want to look to have opportunity to engage on the enemy in the proper way. So let's say I'm closing the gap with this group, the main on the main. Yeah, it's this soldier, this mercy, and their diva. Okay, I don't know why the mech was up there. I was just I was curious. Okay, if you want to do that while your team is not attacking, you can just invest time in setup simply. So we still being useful, right? It's not just like you being AFK or something, and it does mean you cannot do pressure. I think just take some sort of better position on the map, and usually I suggest start with searching for some sort of verticality, because you as Echo, you got mobility, you can always get in and out real quick as well, and there's a lot of vertical movement you got. Just try to engage on some sort of high ground. So our first step, setup. Second step, look to engage with your tank. Okay, so two simple things. Let's maybe get us a little bit more examples of it. So we kind of lost this fight here at the end because just the synchronized pressure, maybe slightly better setup. Okay, got the Reaper. At this point, it's fine, right? You just kind of be clearing the rest of the enemy. You still gotta be careful because you only got Moira, so your wrist is coming back there, but this is okay. This is fine. Doing some early damage is always nice as well, kind of poking before the fight there. Yeah, I like it. Just making sure we have our cooldowns for the actual engagement when your wrist is being active on the map, I think. That's really important. So see here, yeah, again, if I'm looking into the timing, I just want to understand who my tank is actively distracting at this moment and trying to commit after this target. Yeah, so it might be even this moment where you're looking for a lot of poke, which is okay. I still want to keep an eye on what is happening in this part of the map and maybe taking advantage of anybody who is not even looking at you. Yeah, so I can do some early poke, but just because there's an early phase of the fight where I usually call it brawl phase, yeah, where both teams actively exchanging cooldowns. Your team is about to engage the enemy here, and the enemy actually walks through here as well. Yeah, so you gotta keep an eye on who's distracted right at this moment. So you could maybe potentially position around here and just shoot the sweeper as an example, yeah? I'm choosing the position, let's put it this way. You're trying to set up the position where your tank is being active and actively distracting something. And here just clearly, yeah, usually Reaper got the shift, so you just want to kind of force this out and then actively engage later, I think. Take advantage of him using shift later. Is Echo being broken? Well, maybe not, well, not as much, I think. It's alright. It's alright. Okay, so there's a lot of pressure and kind of a little bit of chaotic fight there. But you should be winning. Should be winning. Okay, so for example here, even when we're rotating, our 2 steps still gonna be where I'm gonna set up on the map, and then thinking about the timing of pressure. One more time, yeah. So your next point. Let's see how you guys rotate. Well, there's Reaper. Oh, could it be securing the better kill there? I'm just curious. Yeah, with all of this, right? It just to me it really feels like we got a lot of pressure from this choke, and then because with you not able to engage actively, you're not maybe able to even punish the sweeper actively. So see, this is what I mean. We kind of maybe absorbing unnecessary pressure even around this choke. Yeah, obviously try to spam the enemies, but let it be just a location where you use some sort of verticality. So why not to be here, right? And also let your Arisa to be a little bit more active later. So you'll not be forced out too quickly. Like now you're forced out to just fly away, and you're not going to be active in the fight when your Arisa is actually going to be doing things. We'll see later, like right there, yeah? Maybe she's using Spear on the Reaper, right? But you did lean towards the defensive play before. I like this idea, actually. So see, when we sneaking up on somebody as well, the timing while pressure, we definitely can do that as an echo because you got a lot of bursts, but you still gotta take advantage of, well, thinking about where most of your core is, yeah, where most of your team is. So, for example, if I know my team can get decent follow-up, then that is pretty decent play, right? I think it's just what might make it difficult for you at the moment if somebody knows that you're there, they might just punish you instantly, yeah? Maybe Diva can fly towards you, maybe Reaper can just TP towards you as well, and even Life Hero, just some sort of pressure on you that is still gonna be not too useful for you on the map. Yeah, I'm thinking what else we can also add to you, what else we can also mention here, because there are a few things about mechanics and your cooldowns usage I see as well. Maybe we'll add something there. Okay, let's actually say this, okay? Because I mentioned the timing with your tank. Try to also think about the moments when you can go in even without your tank, okay? And those might be the moments where you find somebody isolated. Yeah, let's put it this way, yeah? Maybe if somebody is just by themselves, like I just know they're not gonna get any help, then I think it's good for you to commit the cooldowns at any point of time. It doesn't matter when you attack, if there's just one person, yeah? And that was before this as well, when I know, okay, maybe the enemies are here, they just go into the choke up and sneaking up on them. If somebody is isolated, I think it's fine, yeah? What's dangerous is only if there are multiple characters and they kind of able to help each other. And this is happening here as well, exactly. You gotta be really, really careful. Well, doing the poke, I think, here it's okay-ish, right? They just be careful with where you end up, so you'll not get pressured out too quickly. Because see, this guy's actually searching for you. Against better players, it's gonna be much harder. Really off meta. Do you only do coaching for Akko? No, I do coaching for any character. You can check all the details in the description, I believe. I don't know if the command is working. I don't think it is. I think the command is broken. But I can just link something to you, actually. I can just use this here. This is the website. You can check this out. Yeah, I don't think the command is working correctly. No problem. If you got any questions, let me know. So see, I guess another thing for you is the timing. You really want to keep an eye on understanding the enemy's defensive abilities and kind of tracking what you're trying to force. Now, let's put it this way, because there've been a lot of times when, well, at least a couple of times, where you've been shooting something, but then because they got the defensive ability, you cannot really do any effective pressure right after. So try to do this simple steps, okay? Just follow those steps, I think. Okay, let me just pull this here. Okay. I think it should be, yeah, the drawing should be working just fine. Okay, so for one, what you're gonna be doing is starting with your primary fire. Just do any sort of damage once you got the setup, once you got the position on the map, and then try to force the enemy cooldown. Yeah, try to force something. In this case, it can be the Reaper. You might also think about forcing out something like Life Weaver's Shift or Life Weaver's Life Grip even. Yeah, any defensive ability usually is quite important for you to force out. And then later, you can follow up with your own cooldown. You can kind of usually do your beam. It's a bomb plus beam combo on something, okay? So I'm just gonna write it down. Try to maybe track top 3 defensive cooldowns, and just simply do this. Primary fire, force cooldowns, punish enemy with your own. That's what I would do. Okay, just finishing up the fight there, that's fine. And see here, we kind of, it seems on the list we already got some things for timing and some things about the setup. Maybe let's elaborate on setup. Let's focus on that a little bit more. I'm not, maybe, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna add anything else here. Probably just focusing on those is gonna be enough. Okay, so thinking about here, we're entering the fight. Our first step is always get the best position possible. Try to use some sort of verticality. Well, what are your options? Where can you be? Well, we obviously we don't have this player in the chat here, but we can think. Yeah, we can think through what are the options. Well, maybe I can stand up on this barrel here. Maybe I can get to the short range angle even using this point or this stairs here to like kind of hide me a little from the enemy pressure. But I think usually, yeah, whenever you're able to find some sort of verticality, it's quite nice. So you're able to, first, if you're under pressure, you can always drop behind the cover. And second thing, you can easily get to pressure the enemy as well. So I definitely think you should kind of slow it down, yeah? To not just try to do the pressure right away, flat and use all your cooldowns, but let it be just set up, yeah? Maybe chill for a second. You're gonna get your, especially something like your shift back as a defensive resource, and then you can think about applying pressure. Because now, if you overcommit, to me it might complicate things. This is quite nice angle though, where you ended up eventually. This is pretty short range, and you have your escape as an ability. The only thing which you're missing is your bombs. So this is pretty decent pressure. I like it. I just think it would be even better to look for something like this right at the start, if possible. Okay, so we're resetting. So see here, as an example, right? My first phase, I'm not just ending up somewhere right on the point, yeah? I'm trying to maybe end up here, or maybe end up here, and then continue the pressure. I think the timing of your pressure, though, is quite much better. Well, at least your Orisa is being active, right? Your Orisa is being active in this room, and at your level, I think that is what's the most important. Just really synchronizing most of your pressure around this resource. I'd say this is really uncomfortable to me. We end up out in the open, away from any point of cover, and we're not able to break line of sight with the enemy easily. Actually, he ended up behind the cover, but kind of died from over there at the end. That's fine. And skip this. Yeah, we're gonna skip 5 seconds and see what's gonna happen next. Okay, so see again the same pattern, right? The same thing we discussed. I definitely think it's fine for you to do early poke. It's fine for you to do early damage. But I really want you to make sure whenever you are in the active fight, make sure you have your cooldowns. Make sure you got your abilities. Magic Dust is now following. Thank you for your follow. So we got the... We could be getting what? Maybe getting this high ground as an example. Maybe just choosing somewhat of a longer range option where you do some early poke, but you get your cooldowns back and you're able to do some active pressure when your team is entering. Because we kind of overcommit. Now it might be complicated for you to follow up on this. Yeah, see, when your Rissa is being active on this map. Yeah, when the Rissa actually starts using Fortify or something. See, why she use Fortify? Well, it's kind of, well, maybe it's a little bit unnecessary, but it is. You get the point, yeah? Now it's just gonna be harder for you to do something because you at least like down one cooldown, you at least down your bombs, and there's could be a bigger chance for you to to die as well, like receive unnecessary pressure. It's definitely tough. You usually don't want to fight the characters with the short range, like Reaper. Just, well, you don't want to close the gap on them as soon as possible. Usually try to poke them from the range first. And then follow up on your abilities. Again, keeping an eye on what do I force. I can just poke him out from a back, and then try to, once he used the shift, I can try to follow up on my, try to finish him with the beam. When playing Echo, are there any heroes you want to look for when using copy? Does it even matter? Yeah, it matters. Usually, as Echo, you want to use your ultimate on anybody who got big burst, in my opinion. Because ultimates are pretty powerful, right? Like, anybody who's got big burst characters, even like Reaper characters, even like... I'm thinking the good ultimates, something like Ashe, for example. Yeah, this character got a lot of burst. You can build your ultimate pretty fast if you got a big burst, and yeah, I think watch out if the ultimates are powerful. Yeah, the ultimates are quite important. The ultimate being useful is important indicator as well. There are obviously niche situations on when you can copy somebody else, but generally speaking, in most situations, just copy somebody with a big burst. Those characters farm ultimates pretty fast, and then you do your own pressure later. Whenever there are problems walking through the choke, still treat it as your setup phase, yeah? Still try to get on some sort of angle where you comfortable with engaging the enemies later, and I think, again, searching for the option to get the high ground. High ground within your team's line of sight. So, for example, I can end up here. This can be an option, yeah? Maybe I can even leverage this point. I don't think it's too easy for you to get from here to the point, though, but at least using this, yeah? So I'm kind of... Even all of what you do is just a setup phase, yeah? You still can poke, but you're getting on the angle. You're getting on the angle to pressure the enemy. But see, it's kind of we don't exactly have the direction. You're trying to engage, but you also been trying to see where the positions for you to end up, because you sort of setting up here. This is not the most effective. The target to copy there is okay, but the consequences why you had to copy, those are definitely not the best. You needed to keep an eye on the setup there. Okay, let me stop for a second. Okay, well, let's continue. I once copied a Mercy to revive my tank. That can be fine, if there's no other better option. Always see if ultimate gives you an advantage in a fight. If it does, then you can use that. Usually as a general mindset, using your ultimate to initiate and just kind of set up the tempo of the fight is pretty nice. Just as a general rank mindset, yeah? If you use your ultimate first, you, generally speaking, if you, let's say I'm top 500 player in this silver lobby, right? As a top 500, I probably gonna be farming 3 ultimates, or maybe 2 ultimates versus enemy silver DPS. And this is your mindset, just trying to see what are the opportunities for you there instantly, kind of be more proactive with your own stuff. It's definitely fine to, sort of speak, maybe use your ultimates as an answer to an enemies if they're doing something, if they're trying to apply the pressure on you. But always see if there are options to set up your own pressure first. That's what I say. Even if I'm trying to play something like, let's say, good example, Lucio players. Yeah, they keep the beat for the graph, but I could just be setting up myself a good play and force the enemy to use the graph. This is much better. This is much better mindset. I want to think through this. What are your options here? What are your options to set up and to apply continuous pressure? So first, yeah, you, after this copy, you again have to do this cycle. You have to do the same cycle and think, I'm getting my HP back, but what is my setup option to go on the enemy? Well, it's fine to shoot, but where do I end up? Okay, I'm thinking, if your core is here, yeah, it seems the most of your team is here, what if I even end up on just play near those high guns, using this here is my cover and an option to do something. But you know, for you, what I would add, because you got a character with big mobility, try to play more separately from your team. Try to take an that's what I what people call an off angle position, where you're away from your group. Yeah, position on off angle, but on high ground. It's quite nice. Why it's nice? Because you can always throw off enemy aim this way. You can always split the enemy's attention. So, for example, yeah, in Syria, if I know my team is fighting for this space, There's a space yellow space, right? I can potentially end up here. I can potentially end up there. And while my team is attacking at, let's call this spot C, if the enemy Sombra is going to engage, she will have choices. She will have a dilemma. They either going to shoot me at the position B or A, or they're going to be shooting position C. So this is quite nice if you can position yourself this way. It's just a little note for you to add when you're setting up, not just on the high ground, but you can also add this off angle idea. See, we kind of play a little bit of a... You kind of end up on low ground a lot, in my opinion. You don't need to. Use some sort of verticality to help you out. Like a copy, for instance, value is more instead of trying to get all charge. Well, not sure what you exactly mean there. Well, you cannot... what is the the echo copy is limited, right? So if you get too early, like for example, if I echo copy now, right, it's not gonna make too much of a difference, right? I just wanna make sure I actively copy when the real fight happens, when there's a lot of cooldown exchanges happening. Okay. See, this is kind of just this synchronized cooldowns usage to me. Yeah, like again, I got my flight. Okay, so what happened there? We got the beam and bombs. This is reasonable. Okay, but then right after here, I think don't just use a cooldown right away, but let it just be slow it down and try to get a position first. Try to get the position. Don't shoot anybody right away. You can even keep your bombs sometimes. You can even just see if there are options for you to do something better with them later, and then do something. Because I think if you follow on the pressure like right away, it's might be not necessary. Just as a generally speaking, I think this is okay. What you did to Life Fever, just in general, like your pattern with the gameplay. Mad Dog Pianist, thank you for your follow. And see, we kind of again end up in the ground. Yeah, where do I end up? I need to have some sort of verticality. One more time. Okay, let's maybe just get us one more example. Let's watch one more fight, and but then I'm gonna summarize this because yeah, this has been a pretty short review. I got another session in some minutes too, so yeah, just gonna be watching one more fight. Okay, so see again, maybe fine setup option. Yeah, you good on the angle, but I don't think you have to shoot early that much. Yeah, if I got in a position, okay, so it's always I'm gonna poke face first. I can do some pressure early on the enemy to farm ult charge. That's fine, but you, in your situation, you actually don't need the ult charge. Yeah, so you might not even poke early. Right, but once I'm done poking, I need to get in a position, but then be patient. Patient until what? Until your, it seems like, who do you, yeah, you got the Zarya. Yeah, once your Zarya is being active, then go in. Yeah, so don't do anything there. You got forced out too quickly. And your Zarya is not even there. And most of your team is not even there too. You do force a lot of the attention from the enemy team, but all of that, it can be even more useful with the right patience. And generally speaking, the D.Va copy it's alright, I think. You can also copy the Reaper, something like that, but I don't think it's your biggest problem. Okay, I'm just gonna summarize this. I'm just gonna pull up the summary and write down the things we got so far. Okay. So obviously no too advanced concepts, just silver player, right? We're gonna be first trying to think about your setup, your position, okay? So it's always setup, apply pressure after. Okay, with setup, you gotta be taking more verticality, take high grounds, take some sort of a roof, and make sure you stay there. And later, look for pressure. Do they win? Let me see. Well, it seems like it's close. I love this sound. It seems like it's pretty close, but they lost. Yeah, then the blue just won there. Okay, taking high ground later, and look for pressure. After that, timing. Try to time your pressure with tank. Okay, tank is active. Be active on the map. Another thing for you to watch out for is try to, yeah, maybe also search for these moments when someone is isolated. Attack whenever. I don't think here in this replay we saw a lot of isolated members. Yeah, even this that was the time when we were fighting the Mercy. There was not really too isolated target. So search for those opportunities, sure, and attack whenever. Why not? You got a lot of burst. Okay. And probably bigger thing for you would be try to track top 3 defensive cooldowns. Try to track something you're trying to force from the enemy team. See what are the defensive abilities there. And because you're tracking there, you can time your pressure, time your activity with when they use something. So it's kind of, I want to primary fire first, force cooldowns, and then punish enemy with your own cooldown. Okay? Yep, so it seems like with map control mainly timing plus setup, echo. Just write it down all in the doc. I'm gonna send it to you. And the recording is also gonna be saved here on Twitch. I also gonna upload this to YouTube. Anxiety to that sound just skyrocketed. Right. Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording here.